attention, and we welcome you to the 100th birthday of the Marlborough Rotary Club. I am your host, Sem Ikanian. I've been a Rotarian here in Marlborough since 1987. Thank you for joining us. I think you'll learn a little bit about the Marlborough Club tonight, and you'll certainly learn a little bit about Rotary. We're trying to keep the speeches to a minimum. I know everyone likes that. Very difficult with Rotarians. I would like to introduce our head table. Our speaker from TENACITY is Ned Ames, and his wife Dill, who we found out tonight is a former Rotary actor, and her dad was a Rotary president. Our lovely wife Donna, president of the Marlborough Club, Aaron Akanian, and his wife Amanda. President-elect Mark Vital of the Marlborough Club, and Cliff Robert, who is the district governor of District 7910. Well, just so you know, as far as learning goes, Rotary International has over 46,000 clubs and 1.4 million members worldwide. Its current president of Rotary International, Shekha Mehta, we're going to hear from later tonight. I did say there weren't going to be too many speeches, but before I ring the bell to start the evening, just to let you know, this bell that we have here is 97 years old, and it's been servicing the club for that long a period of time. So we will start the meeting as we start all meetings. We won't ask you to stand up, Mark. I know, not yet, Mark. Well, it's on the Pledge of Allegiance is in your program, and we were going to have the first woman president of the Marlborough Rotary Club lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, but she's away and wasn't able to do it. You know, Women in Rotary started in 1905 by a fellow by the name of Paul Harris in Chicago. And they called it Rotary because he and a few businessmen met in rotation at their various places of business. So that was 1905, and the Marlborough Club was formed in 1922. It took 81 years from the founding of Rotary and 64 years from the founding of the Marlborough Club before we had our first woman member. So, you know, I was in the club at the time, and for many of us, and of course for now, no one would give a second thought about that, right, for Aaron's generation. And for people of my age, it was something that was very much long overdue. But let me tell you, it didn't come easily for some of the older members of the club. It was either going to be the club is going to fall, that's the end of Rotary, or we're going to start our own club and go at lunch, go at dinner time or breakfast. It was going to be the end of the world. But the fact of the matter is that women in the Marlborough Rotary Club have been a huge plus. In fact, I've said it before and I'll say it again, if it wasn't for the women in the Marlborough Rotary Club, there would be no Marlborough Rotary Club in the early 2000s and 2010s. Yes, the men have started to pull their own weight again, but I'm very proud of the women in our club. And for many of us, I grew up in Rotary. I mean, when I was a kid, my dad would take me to all kinds of Rotary events, the shows that they had, the roast beef barbecues, and it was great to hang out. And it was great to see the camaraderie and these larger-than-life characters that some of you know. And for a young kid, it left a real print on my psyche. Community spirit, cooperation, camaraderie, civic responsibility, all of that was imprinted on me at an early age. And then we had the good fortune of having our kids do the same thing. many of the people who didn't grow up in Rotary in our club have had their children grow up in Rotary. So I thought it would be great if, to lead the Pledge of Allegiance, to honor who I consider to be one of the best presidents in the Marlborough Rotary Club history, that's Peggy Sheldon. I'm going to ask her son, who's grown up in Rotary, Sean Sheldon, to come on up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Where are you, Sean? Please rise. Please maintain standing after the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, in liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing. I'd like to introduce Marlborough Rotarian Father Michael McKinnon for the invocation. And please remain standing after the invocation.
Somehow this has a familiar feeling. I do want to say that I have been in Marlborough for 2 years shy of 2 decades, almost 18 years, and have been part of the Rotary for only a handful. But it has been a great honor to be part of the Marlborough Rotary Club. People who I originally joined so that I could get money donated to certain programs I needed, ended up being very good friends and people I look forward to sharing fellowship with. Soon, my family and I will be moving to North Carolina, and it will be a sadness for us to take our leave. But one of the first things I've already done is to look for a Rotary Club down in the area where I am going. And I just want to introduce Father Sean Fowler, who will be replacing me at Holy Trinity. I thought that by pointing him out, I'd put great pressure on him to join Rotary. So yes, please join. I always like to say I'm going to pray in the Christian tradition. If you're not a Christian, please pray within the silence of your heart according to your tradition. And if you're an atheist, this won't hurt a bit. Let us pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly, gracious, and loving Father, we give thee thanks. We thank thee for stirring the heart of Paul Harris to give birth to what is now known as Rotary International. We thank thee for the motto, service above self. May this motto always be written on our hearts and fulfilled in our actions. Bless now our gathering and our fellowship. Bless our friendships and strengthen the Marlborough Rotary, that it may continue to be a beacon of light among this city and beyond. And we pray thee to bless the food to the nourishment of our bodies through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you, Sam.
Okay, one other tradition we have is, we get pretty close in Rotary, and over the years we've lost some people. And of course, over the 100 years, many good people have come and gone. So when we do lose someone, we give a final ring of the bell and a moment of silence. So I'd ask you to join me in that. Thank you. Please be seated. One last thing before dinner is served. It's with great pleasure that I can introduce, for your welcome, the president of the Marlborough Rotary Club, Aaron Ikanian.
Thank you. So, for those who don't know, my name is Aaron Ikanian. I'm the president of the club this year. and it's a tremendous honor for me to welcome everybody here to our 100th, our Centennial celebration. Before we go on, I want to recognize a few people. Firstly, looking around the room, I want to recognize our decoration committee for really an outstanding work. That's Elaine McDonald, Peggy Sheldon, Donna Icanian, and the flowers were done by Judy Proto, who's not here. She's a new Rotarian. So great job by everybody on that committee. Really, really well done. I also have to thank our tremendous Centennial committee, which did tireless, and I do mean tireless, work on this event. And that committee consisted of Bonnie Doolin, Rick Bennett, Dave Brower, Peggy Thorson, Emily Greenwood, myself, and the chairman of that committee, Sem Icanian. Great work. So I won't take too much time, but it's very special to be up here as a particularly younger Rotarian, both maybe in age and in the time I've been a member. It's a really fun time, but as a young member, you get asked a lot of questions by your friends and coworkers and people in your generation. It's a very common question. What is Rotary? What do you do there? And there's like three main questions I get, and they're, do you wear funny hats? Is there any chanting? And are there any ritual beatings involved? Now, the first two are obviously there's no chanting, there's no hats. The beatings, there's nothing physical, but you do sometimes have to sit with my dad at lunch. It's kind of the same idea, okay? But, you know, what is Rotary? I could give you a stock answer from, you know, the Rotary website, or I could give you this elevator pitch on Rotary and watch your eyes glaze over as I talk. And that's not really what Rotary is to me. Rotary to me is exactly what you see in this room. And this is this is not a service project, this is a celebration, but this is an event put on primarily by Rotarians rolling their sleeves up, getting to work, and getting out into the community and getting people to come to something that means a lot. And over the last 100 years, there's been, you know, hundreds of events of recycling days and meal drives and turkey shoots and, you know, countless fundraising events, just all these things that are the direct result of members of the community taking time from their families, their work, their social obligations to get together and build something. And to me, when that's Rotary to me, it's getting together and doing something for the community and truly embodying the Rotary motto of service above self. So with that said, I'm going to hand it back over to the MC. I hope everybody has a great night tonight, and thank you very much.
All right, that's it. Enjoy your meal, and we'll have just a few presentations for you afterwards, and then a lot of dancing and fun. So I hope you guys are ready for that. All right, enjoy your meal. Continue enjoying your meal. One of the things we've learned at these long, well, hopefully not too long Rotary events is you got to try to get a little bit done before the meal and a little bit done during the meal so that we don't spend the whole time with these proceedings. But we do have some things to do. Being that it's our 100th birthday, we have some well wishes from our district, Rotary District 7910. Our district governor is here tonight, and I've asked him to come up and say a few words. Cliff Robert.
Thank you. And by a few words, is that 35 minutes or 35 seconds? Well, we have had some district governors that can go on for a while, but I try to keep things fairly short. It's really a privilege and an honor to be here for your 100th anniversary. I want to congratulate Aaron on a well-done year. I happened to notice, though, when he was calling out the people who are doing the decorations and things, most of them were women, or all of them were women. And I think that goes to show you what a great group of people you have that are coming up. I did look at a number of the projects, some international type projects that you have done, and some local projects. The Meals for Families, recycling, waste metal, the dinners for seniors and veterans, and Shelter Box. So you do have a number of things, and I'm only hitting the highlights. We do look forward to having Mark, although I hear if Aaron wants to stay for an extra year, Mark might be willing to let him.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Mark's ready.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I do look forward to having Mark take over and leading for the next 100 years for the Marlborough Rotary Club. Starting, not the whole 100 years. I do want to congratulate also Marlborough being the 1,184th club in Rotary. Now that might sound like a huge number, but there's multiple more than that, and it's a great accomplishment to have been in Rotary for 100 years and still be here. So again, I want to congratulate the Rotary Club of Marlborough and all your Rotarians here. Thank you.
Thank you, DG Robert. He's not an ex-district governor because I coined a saying back in 1991, which was never give an ex-district governor the microphone in any event, because you'll never hear the end of it. But he's not an ex-district governor, so he's okay. We also have a video presentation, an acknowledgement, and if you want to look around, we're going to take a look at that.
Hello friends, I'm delighted to share in your celebrations today. Celebrating Rotary milestones like yours is a big deal. And my only disappointment is that I couldn't be with you in person to celebrate firsthand. To meet you, shake hands with you, have some coffee with you, and give you some warm hugs. For 116 years, Rotary has accomplished so much, and I'm delighted that you have been with us in this journey. As I have watched the many ways you and all within the family of Rotary have connected the world, with your actions and your compassion, I've never been more proud to be a Rotarian. This year, we will continue to make history together as we note all the ways that we can serve to change lives. Service is the rent we pay for our time and space on this earth. And we will expand Rotary service as we grow more and do more. We will grow through each one bring one. If every Rotary member could bring in just one member to Rotary, there is no limit on how much we can grow. We will also ensure diversity in our membership as we invite members into our clubs. Let us give special attention to attracting female members and younger members. I'm sure even as you bring these members into your fold, you will engage them, for we do not want to lose these members. Engagement and involvement will keep them in our wonderful clubs. Even as we grow more, we will do more by doing bigger, better and bolder projects. Projects that are sustainable and have long-lasting impact and are of scale. Let us focus on the 7 areas of focus, with a special emphasis on empowering girls. Girls are 50% of our world. They deserve equal rights and equal opportunities. We not only need to create awareness for empowering girls, but also do meaningful projects to empower them so that young women can have improved opportunities worldwide. I also urge you to participate in Rotary Days of Service, to showcase the good work that you do to the people in your community. Let us spread the good word of the great work of Rotary and of your club. Congratulations on your important milestone. Rashi and I wish you the very best as you serve to change lives.
Okay, also I have something to read here. This is the city of Marlborough, Massachusetts, Marlborough Rotary Club. In honor of 100 years of service in the city of Marlborough and presented with appreciation for their commitment to our city through their dedication and contributions that have been a valuable asset benefiting our citizens. Now, therefore, I, Arthur Vigent, Mayor, do hereby issue this public statement of congratulations and best wishes to the Marlborough Rotary Club on the memorable occasion of their 100th anniversary, signed under my hand and seal in the Executive Chamber, City Hall, on this 14th day of May, 2022, Arthur G. Vigent, Mayor. And we appreciate that. And at this point, I'd like to ask our State Representative, Danielle Gregoire, to come up, as she also, I believe, carries a message. Let's see any proclamation in her hand.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here with you all tonight, and I'm also very happy to not have to lower the microphone on the podium like I typically do. Sam, do we have the? Yep. Thank you. I just want to say how grateful I am to not only count so many of you amongst us tonight as friends of mine, but I'm so grateful for the service that you provide our community, the community that, like the Icanian family, I have grown up in and spent my whole life in, generations of us here. So, and I also wanted to just quickly tell a little story. When I was in high school, back quite some time ago at Marlborough High, I actually received the Rotary Youth Leadership Award and was asked the following year to attend the Ryla Academy as a facilitator. And I did not want to go because at that point the Eagles, the band, had reunited and were going on tour for the first time since the 70s on the Hell Freezes Over tour, and I had tickets. And my mother said, you will go to that thing and you will do whatever you need to do to get the scholarship because we need all the help we can get. And so my journey with Rotary started over 25 years ago, and I'm just so proud and happy to be with all of you this evening. I do have a citation from the House of Representatives. It's signed by myself and Representative Gentile and Speaker Mariano. The speaker who will follow me to this podium has a citation from the Senate, which I suspect will sound strikingly similar. So I will leave the citation duty to him, but I have brought a citation, and I really am just grateful for the work that you do for our community, and thank you for having me here this evening. Thank you all very much.
And, I guess it's, if you last long enough and don't die, you get a lot of awards. So I would next introduce our State Senator, Jamie Eldridge, to come on up.
So good evening, everyone, and thank you so much to the Marlborough Rotary Club for inviting me here to be part of your Centennial celebration, and very proud to be here and to represent Marlborough now for the past 14 years, and I've really gotten a sense of what a dedicated community the city is, and really without civic organizations like the Marlborough Rotary Club, the city would not be as strong and as resilient as it is. And I know particularly over the past 2 years during the pandemic, for the Marlborough Rotary Club to step up and provide really significant support to combat food insecurity in Massachusetts, and making sure that all the children that often would get school meals going to school, since they weren't, that they were getting supported, including by delivering by the school buses to neighborhoods throughout Marlborough is really impressive. So I just want to thank you for doing that. That's something that Danielle and I have worked on at the state level on food insecurity issues, but for the Rotary Club to step up in that way is really, really impressive. And I know that the Rotary Clubs in general just have such a commitment to combating disease, to helping community projects, including the new library that's under construction now. So thank you so much for your partnership and all that you've done. And Danielle mentioned citations, so I'm going to read the citation that is also reflected in her House citation. And the citation says, be it hereby known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to the Rotary Club of Marlborough in recognition of the momentous occasion of your 100th anniversary. Be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success. I love the sign on the display, looking ahead to the next 100 years. So congratulations, and it's an honor to be here with you tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. It's tough when the microphone doesn't come up. I can identify when it's not high enough. Anyways, on the same sort of light, we have two city councilors who've been kind enough to join us. I'd like you to just give a wave. One is Councilor Tiona Brown. Where are you? And a longtime friend of Rotary, Councilor Katie Roby. We are going to need you folks, as you're going to find out a little bit later tonight. All right, well, we have a couple of videos, one on an interesting project that Rotary does and one on a little bit of history. These were put together by Emily and Dave Greenwood, and we'd like to spend a little time looking at those. Emily?
Hi, this is Karen from Japan. I'm so glad to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Marlborough Rotary Club.
Hello everyone, my name is Garance Point. I'm 23 years old. I am from France and I was an exchange student from 2015 to 2016.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
My name is Yoichi Manabe. And first of all, I'm very happy that you have a very special anniversary. I wish I were there with you to share this special moment.
Hi everyone, it's Mai here and I was an exchange student to Marlborough from Thailand in 2012, so that's 10 years ago.
Hi everyone, this is Tony from France. I was an exchange student in 2010, 2011, and to give you a bit of news, since I left Marlborough, I basically returned to France, decided to study business administration in Marseille, which is a lovely city if you don't know about it already. Then I decided to move abroad in Berlin, Germany more specifically, where I was working for Wayfair.
I now live in Tokyo and work at the securities firm as a financial consultant.
And now I'm finishing up my master's degrees in microbiology and immunology at Western University in Canada, and after that I'm really excited to start working.
And we live in the city of Zushi, Japan now, and I am a commercial airline pilot of Japan Airlines.
I currently live in Cherbourg in Normandy. I am a second-year business student at Neoma Business School in Rouen, a top 10 business school in France. My specialization is marketing, and next September I will do an academic exchange in Ireland at Trinity College in Dublin.
About a year ago I decided to move back to France, and more specifically in Paris, where I am now. That's my place of work. And I work in transportation, basically optimizing the French transportation network.
My year as an exchange student is absolutely one of the best experiences in my life. I feel so honored and lucky to be part of it because I learned to be brave, to be generous, to have curiosities, and to challenge all different stuff. Huge thanks to all the Marlborough Rotary members. I am grateful to have you all in my life.
This exchange program has really been a trigger in my life in many ways. Indeed, this exchange has offered me a chance to be in an international environment at such a young age, making me more confident while speaking English, and inspired me for my studies, future career, and my personal life.
The international experience really opened up my perspective of the world, and also it urged me to step out of my comfort zone. I was also truly inspired by the sense of community at the club in Marlborough, and that led me to keep volunteering with the Rotary throughout my university.
And what we learned from the exchange program was that we can change something if we know each other. We can change our minds, or we can change our lives, or maybe we can stop the war. Knowing people is very important, and that is also what we tell to our kids.
The exchange program to me represents so much. It's just the start of my grown-up life. I arrived in the US, I was 17, I was such a child, not able to speak much English, just, trying. And then after a year, I left the country with so much experience, so many memories, and I changed. I changed so much.
So I want to say thank you to Marlborough Rotary Club, to every person who made my experience possible.
It's just a great experience. I loved it. I will never forget about it, and I'm super thankful for that. So big thanks for accepting me back then.
Congratulations for the 100th anniversary. Bye!
Happy 100th year anniversary, Rotary Club of Marlborough, and if any of you ever find yourself in Toronto, please give me a shout. Bye!
And once again, happy anniversary. And if you have any chance to come to Japan, please let us know. Thank you. Bye.
Bye!
Happy anniversary, 100th year, just amazing. It's just wonderful. So enjoy everyone.
Congratulations again, and thank you for letting me be part of this honorable event. I miss you all. Thank you. Bye.
Please remind us daily to use the time you have given us to add something of value to the day. Please help us to realize that this added value is especially beneficial to us when, without obligation or expectation of payback, it is freely given away to those who are less fortunate. Please show us that a smile, a wave, a helping hand, seemingly simplistic things do add much more value to the day than we normally realize. Amen.
Okay, we wanted to take the opportunity to show you a little bit about our sort of latest and biggest project that we're working on, and it's kind of on the books. And I'm not sure, I don't know, to try to describe to you, it's at the corner of William Street and Route 20 on the shores of what is known as Lake Williams. It's just east of the Marlborough District Courthouse. And what you're looking at is the plans that we've submitted to the city for Rotary Centennial Park. And we'd like to connection with the city, be able to fund this contemplation park, which sort of is going to be at the end of the trail that is planned to be built around Lake Williams. We want to make it a nice place where you can go and have lunch, or just look at the lake or the wildlife and enjoy. So these plans in rough draft have been submitted to the mayor's office and to the city engineer's office, and we want to fund this ourselves. So knock, knock to those city councilors. We hope we can have your support on this. You know, anytime you're dealing with the city, you know, there are considerations that sometimes people in Rotary don't necessarily contemplate, but we're going to hope that, you know, with all parties wanting to do something really good, that we'll be able to get through some of the red tape and make this happen. And we're pretty excited about it. Rotary Centennial Park. Okay, so I don't want to ever say this fellow is our keynote speaker, because he doesn't like that much pressure on him. But I will say that many years ago, as some of you know, Nick Kofis and I, Dr. Kofis and I went to college together. I got to know a fellow by the name of Bud Schultz, who was a tennis player and a basketball player at Bates College, and actually rose up to like 40 in the world in tennis in the 80s. I mean, he was, you know, playing Bjorn Borg and Jimmy Connors, and he was quite a star. He now owns a tennis club on the South Shore, and his knees have gone, so he's taken up golf, and like any 6'3" athlete, he's like a +2 handicap now. But I talked to him many times, and I knew he was involved in this charitable endeavor called TENACITY. And I looked at it, and it was sort of the first tee in the tennis world. And I called him up, and he said, well, I'm out of it. I had a good run for many years, but I want you to talk to Ned Ames and ask him to come down and talk to you about what they've done. And I talked to Ned, and Ned is a very humble guy. And he said, you know, I don't want to be the whole thing. I just want to, you know, we've had a really tough time because everyone struggles through COVID. And I just want to recognize how helpful it is to our club for him to agree to come out here. But I talked to him, I said, well, he said, what do you want to hear? Because we want to hear about your project. But basically, the bottom line is stuff that's important to us in Rotary. Talk to someone who saw a problem in the community, did something about it, and had great success in doing it. And that's kind of the essence of what we do. And so that was kind of the framework I gave him. Ned is responsible for the overall management and strategic direction of TENACITY. Ned's past business experience includes serving as a management consultant to Fortune 500 companies. He earned his MBA with a concentration in strategic organization change from Boston University. He completed a Bachelor of Science in Finance at San Diego State University, where he served as captain of the men's tennis team. He later played professionally on the ATP Satellite Tour. In 2013, the International Tennis Hall of Fame presented Ned with its prestigious Education Merit Award, and in the same year, he was inducted into the USTA New England Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Ned Ames of TENACITY.
Good to see you all, and it's great to be here. Thank you, Sam and Aaron, for inviting me out. It's a very special occasion, Centennial, incredible celebration, so thank you very much. And it's really nice to be with a crowd of people and with an organization that has the motives and the values that Rotary has. I'd like to think that Rotary is helping so many others to start organizations and do things, and I think it's probably helped Tenacity. So thank you for having me. Just to get started, and we'll try to be brief here, I'd like to show you just a brief overview of Tenacity up on the screens.
Nothing levels the playing field more than education. Period.
For students in Boston, Tenacity exists to level the educational playing field. Starting in 4th grade, we introduce Boston youth to the sport of tennis. From there, we provide kids and families a pathway of support that spans their entire childhood. In the Middle School Academy, we work with students to develop their literacy skills and to lead fit and healthy lives. Most recently, we expanded the opportunities for kids throughout the city to participate in competitive team tennis. With our corporate partners, we get out into the business community so we can open their eyes to the career possibilities that are out there. Through it all, we engage with families in the Tenacity community so we can help celebrate the key milestones. In the summer months on playgrounds throughout the city, we continue our efforts with fitness and literacy, and we help stem summer reading loss for thousands of Tenacity participants. Not only are we teaching the kids when they're younger, we're giving them jobs when they're older through our Tenacity internship program. In high school, we offer one-on-one mentorship, aid with the college selection process, and even scholarship money to hardworking students. In fact, 95% of our students graduate from high school, and by the time our scholars have moved on to college, we've been with them every step of the way.
I think Tenacity has shown the impact that this type of partnership can have in a child's academic life, where the students are making 10, 20% gains. And I think what we are creating is very good.
On behalf of all of us at Tenacity, thank you for your support.
And the story really sort of starts around here and on the roads, many of the roads that you all drove on to come here. And the story is really one where when I was younger, 11 years old, there was a pretty big twist and unexpected turn in our family. I had grown up on the North Shore. I don't know if I'm pointing in the right direction or not, but up 495, let's pretend it's that way. A green, leafy private school campus. My dad taught there. My grandfather had been the headmaster there for 30 years. I thought I was a pretty cool faculty brat. When we had public skating and people from the outside could come in and use our rink, I was like, who are these people? That was kind of my mindset as a little kid. And then it all changed. And this was around the time of the 70s and the Vietnam War and a lot of the changes going on in thinking in our society. And my parents took us in a very different direction. A direction of social work, community change, and really developing street credibility wherever my parents went. The next thing I know, we had left the private school, and my father was working in anti-racism consulting, and then we moved to Worcester. And we moved to a housing project where my father had taken on a job as the community organizer. So my two younger sisters and I, along with our parents, moved into a 2-bedroom apartment at Plumley Village. You may know it. It's just off Lincoln Square in Worcester. It was a huge change. The roadmap in life had been changed. It was confusing. Looking back, it's probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me. And oddly enough, it was living in Plumley Village where I got introduced to the sport of tennis. And that became really my lifeline in what seemed like a sea of unfathomable change. So I got pretty good at tennis. I played not as good as Bud Schultz, But I did my best, played New England tournaments, and it really became the activity I identified with amidst all this other change. And I was able to go on and play college tennis and so forth. I then spent the next 20 years trying to move away from that change, from the social work, and tried to pursue a career in business. I did, and have what I felt was a more normal life. And that led to consulting, as Sam mentioned, an MBA. And I remember in an entrepreneurship class in the MBA program, these big entrepreneurs would come in who had made billions of dollars and say, you can't ever start something unless you have this tremendous fire in your belly. The only time I had really felt fire in my belly was when I was trying to compete in tennis. And I didn't really understand that in a bigger context of business or career pursuits. So I went about trying to learn and build a career as a consultant. And 10 years later, 10 years into that, I was in New York City, and I unexpectedly got introduced to an incredible charity called the New York Junior Tennis League. Serves thousands of kids across all 5 boroughs of New York. Academics in tennis. At-risk kids. 70 full-time employees. I saw this example, this model, and I think for the first time I really did begin to feel a very natural fire in my belly. It connected with every part of my life up to that point. Living in a housing project, tennis, academics, business. And very quickly, over a period of a couple months, it became very clear to me that I was meant to come back home to Massachusetts and try to start what, with the help of Bud Schultz and many others, has become TENACITY. So I just wanted to share that because that story, I think, as Rotarians, you care about how do things get started. Where does it come from and how does it happen and why do people want to do it? That's my brief story about that, and thank you for the opportunity to share it. Just to close, I'd like you to meet one of our students, and Emily will now play that.
These are my home courts. I started tennis through TENACITY, and I never imagined how far I would be able to go through with tennis and all the opportunities TENACITY has, built for me, really. Because if I didn't have tennis, I don't think I would be accepted to as many colleges as I did my senior year, or being able to be playing on a college team. It's unbelievable how many opportunities I was able to get through TENACITY and to see where I am now. Because I don't think, if I didn't have TENACITY when I was in high school, I don't think I would be the person that I am today. I really don't think so. Working with an advisor from TENACITY once a week really helped me bring my self-confidence up and helped me make new friends and just make me a better person in general. By the time I graduated OB, I was able to get recruited into a lot of college tennis teams and in general into a lot of other colleges. I am currently a student at UMass Boston, and I'm majoring in physics and minoring in math. It's really important for women, especially women of color, to be in the STEM field because right now there's an underrepresentation of that. I want other women of color to really feel like they're, to feel comfortable in being in these majors and not feeling like they have to back away or shy away from it just because, of how they identify. I really want to go into the middle school program, start early, and just talk about being, in the STEM field, having, giving them more of an opportunity, building those opportunities to break these barriers of feeling like, oh, well, there's not a lot of people who self-identify as me. I want them to feel comfortable starting from a young age, feeling like, yes, they can do this despite how they self-identify. And I feel like it definitely starts from a young age. My name is Miranda Harkes, and this is my Breakpoint.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Before just a couple things. Back tables. A lot of Rotary memorabilia is on those back tables, so after the program, feel free to poke around. We have a big placard from actually the 25th, 1947 birthday bash at forget the ballroom, but some of the old timers would know it. And then we have our original charter over there that's been put together, and a bunch of other nice stuff. Also, make sure you take home the books, the program books, and the history book. Feel free to take it home with you. At this point, there are a couple of awards that President Aaron would like to make. So once again, I'd introduce President Aaron Akanian.
Thank you. So you heard a name earlier tonight, a couple of times, the name Paul Harris. Paul Harris was the founder and organizer of the first Rotary Club in Chicago in 1905. He was also the founder of the Rotary Idea, the first president of the worldwide organization. So as a president of the club, one of the privileges of being the president is at the end of your year you get to award what's known as the Paul Harris Fellow, and it's the highest honor for a Rotarian, and it sort of is given to people who best show our goals of service and helping our community. So I'm going to give two tonight. Now, this is in the spirit of the pandemic we've been in. Most of the things I need to give these awards were back-ordered, of course, which is like... So the awards you're going to get tonight for these two people, they're basically just placeholders. We'll get the real award to you. The first one I'm going to give out is actually someone we just heard from for his tireless work for the youth of Boston and Worcester, Massachusetts, and that's for Ned Eames, our speaker tonight. Come on over, Ned. Yeah. The second one and the last one I'm going to give out is to someone who actually has been very, very vital to me as a president this year, and it's another person who's a fairly young member as far as age and time in the club. But this person was given a tremendously difficult task in our club. He was the person who was taking over as the president through this pandemic year last year preceding me. This person was able to keep this club together and going through really difficult times, meeting on Zoom and virtually, and not only keep the events going that we have, but also innovate new ones and continue to serve the community with such vigor, and also doing all this while also bringing his positivity and just a great attitude. And I can't thank him enough for the things he's done for me and also for our club, and that person is Alan Herzog. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, President Aaron. I know it just warms my heart to see some of the younger members speak about the ideals of Rotary and be able to recognize their success. It bodes well for the future of our community and for the future of Rotary. Okay, so we're just about ready to close, and Aaron did all of the thanking of the committee, but I thought I would just speak just for a second, as chairperson of the committee. I don't want to make light of, that very serious post-traumatic stress disorder thing, but I would say serving on a committee with me qualified all those people to be near post-traumatic stress disorder. Me, I had it easy, but they had a tough time dealing. And one particular committee member took it the toughest for me. And also, she was most instrumental in creating these books that you have and dealing with the late advertising, and I got a sense of how hard that is when I started getting late RSVPs for tickets and everything else. But I did have a little token of my appreciation, and I'll ask Aaron to deliver it for Peg Thorson. Thank you. Thank you, Peggy. I'm sure at the end of it all, she would say it was such a pleasure to work with me. Now, the other person is an always behind-the-scenes person. If you've ever been president of the Marlborough Rotary Club, and we make it sound like it's a big thing, but you know, for us it is, and it's a lot of responsibility to be president, and it's actually a really good, fun challenge for us, for people, because it will test you and your leadership skills and your organizational skills. And yet, when it's May 14th, people say, only 10 more weeks left, Aaron, only 10 more weeks left. So I know that feeling. But we think it's bad for that president, but for those who have served, it's really not the president that suffers. It's the significant other. So I want to give this to my daughter-in-law, Amanda. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you all for coming out. It really, I mean, it's very touching to see the community support Rotary like this. When we put this together and we said, oh, I don't know, you know, we'd like to get 150 people, and then we saw a lot bigger club in Framingham only have 90 people, and a couple of weeks ago I'm saying, geez, I got to get over 90, and then all of a sudden I got to get, you know, 120. Now I want to be closer to 150 than I am to 100, and we actually 153 paid people. So it's a great testament to Friends of Rotary and to the community, and thank you all for coming, and have a good night.